What's going on, guys? CTG Matt back. Red Settle. Today I'm going over my preseason, or before the season started, predictions for the MLB of this season that just passed, I guess. Don't forget to like, subscribe. I make a ton of content on here where I predict the future, or at least try to. I'm no oracle. I don't know all. But today I'd like to go back and look at my predictions for this MLB season. That includes, I had a video on March 27th where I did 5 random breakout players. I did catchers top 5 on December 21st. I did my third baseman top 5 on January 2nd. I did my shortstop top 5 on January 12th. I did my first baseman top 5 on January 30th. That's all I have. We're going to go through that, and I'm going to tell you whether I did really bad or really well. Let's go. Like I said, like, subscribe. We're going to start off with the breakout players that I chose for this season. Starting off with one I will give a really pat on my back for, but not a great one. It's Hunter Brown. Hunter Brown had a spectacular season for the Houston Astros. He put up 6 WAR and a 2.43 ERA in about 185 innings. A spectacular season for Hunter Brown all around. He did tail off a little bit in the second half, but he picked it up again before the season ended. A little bit of fatigue there. It was the season high in innings. I'm going to give myself a pat on the back for my Hunter Brown pick, but in that same breath, I'm going to also say this wasn't necessarily a throw in the dark. Hunter Brown had shown some signs before that. He was a top prospect for the Astros for a few years before he even came up. So I guess this isn't necessarily me calling this breakout, and me more so just, I guess, projecting it. I don't know. It's a little bit different. I don't want to consider this one too big of a win because he was already on the cusp, the precipice of becoming a really good pitcher already 2 seasons ago. He just happened to get a little bit better this year. The next one I want to talk about, Ryan Pepiot. I was wrong. Yeah, I was wrong. 1.9 WAR, 3.86 ERA. He threw closer to 200 innings, I'd say. But still not an overall great season. 3.86 ERA, 1.9 WAR. Sure, he did play in a minor league ballpark, and that did not help him at all. However, I wanted him to put up higher strikeout numbers. Didn't necessarily happen. I wanted him to flex that changeup more. That's been one of the better ones in baseball, lauded as at least, and talked about. It didn't really play. And I know, like I said, minor league ballpark didn't necessarily help, but only 1.9 WAR. It's not a bad year. It's not a great year. It's not a breakout. Up next, Patrick Bailey. I missed. I missed. Listen, for 2 straight years, Patrick Bailey has done the same thing prior to this season. He puts up a really strong first half and a really bad second half hitting. And he plays the best catcher defense in baseball, not even close. I expected, all right, this season he's going to put it all together. He'll have a good front and back half of hitting and play that platinum glove defense we've been seeing. Instead, he didn't hit at all. Funny enough, he had a couple of walk-offs, though. Of course, if you remember against the Phillies, he had the walk-off inside the park home run. That was really fun. And I believe he also had a walk-off down the stretch against like the Diamondbacks or something later in the year. So overall, it's not a good year. 1.1 WAR from a guy who's a defensive wizard is definitely impressive. That shows how bad his bat was. And that's a minus. That's a loss. I'd say Ryan Pepiot was closer to like even, neutral. He just had an all right year at best. Patrick Bailey had a full down year, so that's a loss. Next up, I had Ivan Herrera. I like this pick a lot, and I'll stand by it. He played 107 games. He plays 2.2 WAR and a 136 OPS plus. Is he a catcher? Probably not. Probably a DH. They also have Wilson Contreras at first base, so again, Herrera's talking about full-time DH work. I don't think he's good enough to be a catcher. However, 2.2 WAR in 107 games. If he plays the full 162, you're talking about over 3 WAR probably. Again, like I said, he didn't take over the full-time starting catcher spot. That went to a bunch of other guys, like Pozo got some looks there. A bunch of guys got looks at catcher for the Cardinals last year. And yeah, Herrera was one of them. He just didn't stick as full-time. He DH'd more often. He had a 3-homer game at Boston earlier in the season. He had an all right season. I'd say this one was a 1 thumbs up I'll give myself. This is kind of the foolish baseball method of doing it. I don't know if you guys watch him, but this is kind of in the same methodology there. How I'm grading myself is like really good pick, really bad pick. I just want to keep it simple. Probably my best pick was Jacob Wilson. I had him in here as a breakout player. I said I really wanted to put a rookie in here, and I did. I picked Jacob Wilson. I liked his contact skills, and I thought that maybe he could stick at shortstop. There was a potential of it. This year, he played 125 games, missed a good chunk of the year, over 25 games, and put up about 3 WAR and a 121 OPS plus. He was the rookie of the year until his teammate Nick Kurtz came up. I'm going to go ahead and give myself 1 thumbs up for that one because I feel like that's pretty good. Altogether, I'd say I got 3 out of the 5 pretty good. The 3 being Hunter Brown, which, again, I'm not giving myself that much credit for. He was already really good, already good enough before. Patrick Bailey, wrong. Pepio, wrong. Herrera was right. A 136 OPS plus, man. That's good production. And then Jacob Wilson, I was right about too. About 3 WAR and a 121 OPS plus. Altogether, it's not the craziest predictions you'll ever hear, but I feel like I did relatively well. Let me know down in the comments how you guys felt about my breakout players. Do you think I hit the nail on the head, or do you think I'm just kind of gassing myself up and I actually missed the mark? My top 5 catchers. This is where things went very badly. Things went really badly in this video. I had Adley Rutschman at 5. He had another really bad year. 1.9 WAR, 90 OPS plus. Only played 90 games. Plays a lot of the season, recovering from injuries in AAA. You could see his swing is completely different now than it was at the start of the year. I don't know if you guys have seen his minor league tape. He looks completely different, and he hasn't been playing well. I was rooting for a bounce back. We did not get a bounce back. At number 4, I had Gabriel Moreno. That's another miss. 1.6 WAR. He only played 83 games, but he did have a 117 OPS plus. I believe he hit a career high in home runs, so that's something. But also, like I said, only 1.6 WAR. He only played 83 games. Injury played a part in that, but he did have a career best hitting year, so there is some value there. This one I'll call even. Adley's I'll just say no. Adley was not even close to a top 5 catcher this year. I would say Gabby Moreno probably closer because he played less games than Adley, had a better hitting season, but I still wouldn't call him top 5. Number 3, I had Yainer Diaz. Oh my God, dude. That was a bad ranking. My catcher rankings were just bad. I don't know catcher ball. Sorry, I don't know squatters. Yainer Diaz with 2.7 WAR, 92 OPS plus in 143 games. Not a great year. He did come around in the back half of the year. It felt like he had a home run in the last few games of the year. Doesn't really matter. I believe he did hit a career high in home runs, and his on-base was a little bit better, but overall it just wasn't a great year, but he's still all right defensively, though. I'd say Yainer still has a right or an ability to be placed in the top 5. Probably not 3, but you could argue him still in the top 5. So I'll say that one's relatively respectable. Number 2, Cal Raleigh. He moved up to number 1, obviously. The guy hit well over 60. He hit 60 home runs. I was going to say well over 60, but that counts playoffs now. He's at 62. Cal Raleigh, 7.3 baseball reference WAR and a 169 OPS plus. Cal Raleigh had the best catcher season maybe in MLB history. Probably in MLB history, and it's not really even close. The best switch hitting home run, the most switch hitting home runs, maybe the best switch hitting season in MLB history. It's one of. Cal Raleigh was simply ridiculous, the best catcher in baseball this year. Unfortunately, I had him at 2 because I had William Contreras at number 1, and he's still top 5 as well. Contreras started off the year rather slow, and I believe that panicked me a little bit, but he rounded it out well, finished with a 111 OPS plus in 150 games and about 4 WAR. Wasn't a bad year for William Contreras. He's still definitely a top 5 catcher in my mind. However, he's not number 1. Cal Raleigh's number 1. I would say give me 2 points from that, maybe. It's not great, but give me 2 points. Contreras and Raleigh were in the top 5, and they were last year, and they still are this year. It's a little bit easier to argue that, I guess, but the rest of the list behind Contreras and Raleigh is not really that good, so I'm not gonna, I'm not really gonna say that I did my thing with that one. I did not cook, as the kids say. Did not cook. First base, at 5, I had Vinny Pasquantino. Now, I was hoping for a step up. This was a projection. Vinny P had 2.4 WAR in 160 games and a 120 OPS plus. He had a career high in home runs as well. Wasn't a bad year for Vinny P. Was it a top 5 first baseman year? Probably not. Probably not. Probably not. I don't think so, but it wasn't a bad year. It was a step up. He got better. I just don't know if he's in that upper echelon of first baseman. At number 4, I had Matt Olson, who is stapled in the top 5. He's there regardless. 6 WAR, 138 OPS plus, 162 games for the 4th straight year. Matt Olson has played 162 games, by the way. He's probably the best defensive first baseman in baseball, on top of being a 138 OPS plus, a good lefty bat. Like, Matt Olson is just unreal, and I love Matt Olson a lot. Up next at number 3, I had Bryce Harper, who's probably in the top 5, just not 3, probably lower than Matt Olson. In 132 games, Harper had 3.2 WAR and a 129 OPS plus. It was a good year, not a great year for Harper. His OPS was in the 8s, which, again, is good. A majority of guys like an 840 OPS, that's a career season. For Bryce Harper, it's like, I expected a little bit better. At number 2, I had Vlad Jr., who put up 4.5 WAR, 133 OPS plus in 156 games. Vlad Jr. has, I guess, a right to be number 1 if you really want to put him there. You can, and I wouldn't really hate you for it. He had a really good year, and of course, he's in the ALCS right now. He clubs the ball, 133 OPS plus. He has these hot stretches where he's just, you're just unable to get him out. And then at number 1, I had Freddie Freeman, who's still in the top 5 regardless of how you feel. 147 games, 141 OPS plus. Oh yeah, and he put up 3.5 WAR, which is also in the top 5. So all things considered, I got about 3 to 4 right, depending on how you feel about Bryce Harper's year, whether that's in the top 5 or not. It's pretty close. It's debatable. However, I feel like besides Vinny Pasquantino, there's no real bad misses. We'll bounce across. We'll talk about third base. At number 5, my third baseman rankings, I had Manny Machado. At 4.1 WAR, a 118 OPS plus in 159 games, Manny Machado continues to prove one thing. He's consistent, and he beats the washed allegations every year. Every year, I think Manny Machado is going to take a step back, and it feels like every year, Manny Machado just plays fine. I think he has a right to stay here. Up at number 4, I had a guy who didn't play third base this year. It's Rafael Devers. That was made before the Alex Bregman signing, as you could probably tell, and he put up 4 WAR. 139 OPS plus. Funny thing about Rafael Devers, he played 163 games this year. Hey, you heard that right. Guy got an extra game in there to stat pad. Insane. I'm just kidding. Rafael Devers is a great player, just not a third baseman, so I guess that's a miss. But again, I made the video before there was an Alex Bregman signing. Up at number 3, I had Austin Riley. That's a miss. He played 102 games, 1.3 WAR, 105 OPS plus. Not a good year from Austin Riley. All-around bad year out of Atlanta, it felt like. Other than like Matt Olson and Ronald coming back and doing his thing, everyone felt like they just had a bad year in Atlanta. And Austin Riley was no different. Career bad year for him, it felt like, other than when he was playing goddamn left field. At number 2, I had Matt Chapman. I'll stand on it. I still will. He played 128 games, put up 4 WAR and a 120 OPS plus. It's a great Matt Chapman year. I believe he led the league in walks for a portion of the season. I don't think he ended the season leading in walks, but he had a bunch of them. He led at one point, is what I'm saying. And Matt Chapman had an all right year. He had a Matt Chapman type year. He's just going to put up 4+ WAR every year, and he's going to be a 115 and up OPS plus bat. He played 128 games. If you add an extra, 30 games in there. If you add an extra 30 games to that and you put him at 158, there's a good chance he can get over 5 WAR. It's a really good year for Matt Chapman. I'm happy for him. And at number 1, I had the guy who's still number 1 and will always be number 1 as long as there's no crazy call-up or some guy coming up. It is Jose Ramirez. Jose put up 5.8 WAR, 137 OPS plus in 158 games. It wasn't the year that he had last year, not 2024 Jose. 2024 Jose was a little bit better, but 2025 Jose was still good. I believe he hit for more power this year, and it was a really good year for Jose all around. He had less help in the lineup, and he still put up a 137 OPS plus. All around for the third baseman rankings, I'd say I got 3 right. Rafael Devers, of course, is not a third baseman anymore. And Austin Riley probably won't be placing in the top 5 next year when I do my rankings. And finally, the shortstops. The best position, the most fun position. No, center field might be the most fun. One of the most fun positions on the diamond, I'll say. In the top 5, I had at 5, I had Corey Seager, who continues to just beat my ass. Every time I place an expectation on him, he has a great year. 6.1 WAR, 151 OPS plus in 102 games. 6 WAR in 102 games. The guy missed 60 games and put up 6 WAR. Does that register how nuts that is, or is that just me? Corey Seager is my favorite shortstop in baseball. I will always say that. And he was really good defensively this year, too, which is not something we've seen out of Siegs in a little bit. Corey Seager was nutso and definitely deserved to be placed higher, but at least he's on the list, right? Number 4, Francisco Lindor. 2024 Lindor was spectacular. I said he'll build off that. It was an all right year. This felt more like a Francisco Lindor year, I'll say. 5.8 WAR in 160 games and 129 OPS plus. They crumbled down the stretch, but Lindor tried his best. I mean, he went on a tear late to really try and help them. But again, 5.8 WAR and a 129 OPS plus is like a really good year for a lot of guys, but comparatively to 2024 Lindor, 2025 Lindor just wasn't as good, but he still plays in the top 5, I would say, if I had to redo the list. At number 3, I had Mookie Betts, and this is a weird one to talk about, I guess. He finished with 4.8 WAR in 150 games and a 104 OPS plus. Not a great year for Mookie. It's really weird to talk about because he's just not a shortstop. He's not supposed to be a shortstop. He was never meant for shortstop, and he wound up there. I don't like it. I don't like him being there, but I had to respect the talent and put him in the top 5, and he had a down-hitting season. I think it's because of the fact that he's been bungled and moved all over the field for the last 3-4 years now. It feels like he's just ping-ponged to different spots on the field. He wasn't bad at shortstop. He just wasn't elite Mookie Betts at shortstop. You know what I'm saying? Not bad. I probably wouldn't put him in the top 5 if I had to redo it. And then number 2 and number 1, I guess I flipped because I wanted to be different. I don't know. At number 2, I had Bobby Witt Jr. This year, he put up a 136 OPS plus, 7.5 WAR in 157 games. Bobby Witt had an incredible year once again on a team that wasn't as good as last year, but he still had crazy numbers. Bobby Witt was absolutely nuts. He will be number 1 moving forward, I will say. Maybe for the rest of his prime. He's what, 24 now, if I had to guess, 25. For the rest of for the next few years, he's just going to be chilling at number 1. Number 1, I had Gunnar Henderson, and he wasn't bad. Gunnar Henderson in 154 games had 5.5 WAR and a 121 OPS plus. I just feel like maybe it was the fact that he had no help in the lineup. I'll comfortably say that. I know Bobby Witt Jr. didn't have much help either, but Bobby Witt Jr. had Sal Perez, Vinny P, Mikel Garcia. That's at least 3 good hitters. In the Orioles lineup, Gunnar Henderson was protected by Jackson Holiday. I'm trying to name good hitters that were on that team. By midseason, O'Hearn and Laureano were gone. Colton Cowser had a down year. Not many good things going on in Baltimore this season. All things considered, I'd say I got 4 out of the 5 right. I just would not have Mookie Betts there, and if I redid the order, Bobby Witt Jr. would be number 1, obviously. But all things considered, I feel like I did relatively well this year. And for my breakout players, that was the one I was most proud of, to be honest with you, because the fact that I got 3 right was like, thank you. Thank you, Matt. I actually did relatively well on that video. The rest of it, I'll leave up to you guys. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to catch the game. See you guys in the next one.